everyone, welcome. How are you journaling today? I hope with all of your heart. I'm Gina here at Weiniger Tales, and I am super passionate about documenting life in the Weiniger cottage. I love to put things in my journals and talk about things that are going on in my garden, in my faith, and in my family. So today we're going to go ahead and get started with working in my Hobonichi. So, disclaimer, I am brand new to Hobonichi. I am learning. I have found that it's going to be the journal that I'm going to be using until next spring. I got the spring version of both the Cousin and also the little Techo original, and I'm using them both for different purposes. The Cousin that I am using is my kind of the one that stays home. The one that I want to use for memory keeping, for kind of documenting things personally, and just sort of the one that sits on my desk, and when I feel like it, I walk by and just work. So today I am documenting our trip to Waco, Texas, and my visit to Magnolia with my husband that we just got back from. And I want to just put all the things on this particular little page. And it's not going to be easy because I took a ton of pictures. And so you'll see what I did. I took a passport that you can pick up when you arrive there at Magnolia. If you haven't been there before, you need to go. I've been wanting to go there for so long, and it was not a disappointment. It was the best day ever with my husband. And when we showed up, they gave us this little passport. So I took the passport and knew that it would be a great thing to use for tip-ins so that I could add a bunch of my pictures, because I took many, as I stated. And what I do is I print these on sticker paper. I use both clear matte sticker paper as well as regular label paper. So you can see through one set and you can't see through the other. And I print them always. When I do my collage in Photoshop of all my pictures of different sizes, I vary them and then I print them on both kinds. That way I can have a choice to use them. And then what I also do is if I don't use the clear, then I'll use that in something else. And you take these pictures, and I have plenty of journals, plenty of places to tell stories, so I use them. Nothing goes to waste. So yeah, I'm cutting out a little picture. I love this picture. It's a picture of my husband and I in the little baseball in the center of Magnolia, and behind us was the little church. It's a chapel, a new building that they've added to Magnolia, which we were really fortunate to see. Very, very exciting. And we thought it would be fun to have a little smooch on the baseball mound. We did hit a few of the wiffle balls they have there. Just such a fun place of community and fun. So we took a tour before we went to Magnolia itself. We took a tour around Waco with Brazo Tours. If you haven't been there or are planning to go, you should definitely look up one of the Waco tours. It's a little spendy, but it's worth it. So Brazo Tours took us all the way around Waco, told the history of Waco. They take you around to all of the different houses that Joanna and Chip have flipped. A lot of them anyway, and we even got to go in one. We got to go in the one called Three Little Pigs, which is one that I remember seeing, an episode that we saw many years ago, and it was just fun. It was fun to see the ideas that are in there, and super, super fun. So Brazo Tours, or I think there's a couple other tours, Waco Tours, you should definitely check it out. What I'm using right now, I pulled out some ephemera that I had gotten at the beginning of the summer, and it's from Simple Stories, a collection called Farmhouse Vintage Farmhouse Garden. And I love Simple Stories. It's kind of up my alley with my style. So I'm going through these. I end up not using many. I use two little title stickers, one that says Gather Together and the other one says Better Together. Gather is definitely a Magnolia vocabulary word, so I thought that was really kind of fun to put there onto one of my flaps. And again, just talking about that little passport, all I did was take it apart. I took the staples out and then just adhered two of the pages with the washi that I have there, the checkered washi, or grid washi. And this is actually I'm sure you can find it on Amazon. I believe mine came with one of my subscriptions that I have. I have a couple different ones, but it's one that I use often. So definitely kind of neutral and fun to add to things. So I use my little glue stick and I do use a little tape runner sometimes, but I find that I don't mind a little glue as long as I have those little paper tweezers, because I do not like glue on my fingers. Okay, I love this little picture here. Quickly, it was in the Magnolia home setting, and I love to get ideas. That was one of the things I did. I got ideas for decorating, and even my husband was kind of into it. And I looked at this little set of books that was on a shelf, and what she had done was put like pastel paper and covered each of the books, kind of like you would cover a textbook in high school or elementary school, to protect your books. Anyway, it was so lovely. It just sat on the shelf, and it was just such a cozy feeling. So I'm gonna try that DIY at my house. Also, you'll see I just stuck down a picture of a yummy lavender lemon cupcake that is from the Magnolia Bakery. We ate at Magnolia Table, but not Magnolia Table, the restaurant. It was, we found out, booked. You have to get reservations months in advance, or at least need to give yourself lots of time because it fills up. So we ended up using the Magnolia Table food truck that they have outside on the property of Magnolia, and it was just as elegant. Actually, we got to sit outside, and it just felt like a little community restaurant. The food was delicious. We loved it. And so the bakery, though, we did get to go in and have a lemon lavender cupcake is the one I chose. And we also went to Magnolia Press, the coffee shop, my favorite coffee of all time. My iced breve latte was delicious. And I ended up getting a little souvenir there, a little coffee scoop and a tea towel and some stickers for my journal. What I did was, that title you see at the very top, Magnolia, I tore out from the bag from Magnolia Press. And so it was really nice because I was able to sort of make a title at the top, and I wanted to add a little color. So I took my Tombow, which is brand new, and guess where I got it? At the stationery store on the Magnolia property, at a little each of the stores. You need to just go into all of them. It was so fun. But the stationery store, my husband shook his head. He's like, I'll never get her out of here. And I did stay there the longest because I was having fun looking at all the different stationery pieces. But I did get a Tombow marker. I know I can get a Tombow marker anywhere, but I wanted to journal while I was on my trip, and I ended up getting the color Chrome Orange, which worked really well with this. Just taking a little water brush, adding a little water color to the page. Tombow is I love the tip of the brush marker because you can really do good hand lettering with it. And as you saw me do right there, all I did was just put it on that little piece of acetate, add a little water, and the Tomoe River paper that the Hobonichi has, which is my very favorite paper of all time. I love journals with Tomoe River paper in them, which is probably why I really enjoy the Hobonichi. Holds that water really well. And this technique doesn't saturate my page too much, so I can continue working pretty quickly. Let's see. Right now I'm taking some stamps, and you saw me just stamp on the menu on that little piece of scrap sticker paper. I don't throw away my scraps. When I cut out my collage that I create in Photoshop and print them out on to the sticker papers, I save the little strips on the sides, and then I cut them into manageable sizes and stick them in a little tray, and I can pull them out and stamp on them using Versamark. I find that's the best to use because it sticks really well, especially to the slippery matte if it's got a slip to it. So anyway, I love these because you can use them as stickers. You're creating your own stickers. You can use them over pictures when it's the clear matte, and I just love the effect. So I take my little fine point Sharpie and I write just a little bit of journaling here. I am going to journal off camera, and I'll show some pictures at the end, but I just thought, I'm going to just kind of write this really quickly because I want to caption that little lemon lavender cupcake. So I'm really grumpy. I find that the water that I just put on the opposite side soaked through this passport cardstock, and I need to find a solution to that, but I have to take a few breaths and walk away, and I'm going to think of something good that I can do. Anyway, I'm taking the this stamp set I'm using is from Felicity Jane, a subscription, my very favorite one. It's from the stamp set Crystal, or from the subscription kit Crystal, and I'm taking this little leaf stamp and stamping it down. It dried out a little bit. I have a fan on, it's really warm where I live, and that's okay. It doesn't bother me. I just went ahead and stamped over it again, but I'm adding a little bit of accent to the top here, to my title. That little tree in the left-hand corner is from a little sticker set, little 2x2, I think, and they're the little Japanese collections. This one is a tree, has a variety of trees in it. Perfect size for Hobonichi journals and any of your planning or memory keeping, really. But I love it, and I sort of was pretending that's a magnolia tree. And then I'm going to take my Vicky Bouton crayon shindigs, which is what I call them because I can never remember what they're called, but just adding a little bit of the water-soluble crayon to add a little color to my little eucalyptus leaves is what I was pretending those were. And to be honest, I don't really love this effect. I did not like the color that I chose, but you'll see me solve this problem because there's never mistakes when you're journaling or when you're arting, because you can always find some way to, kind of accent it and correct it by using a creative technique. So I'll show you in a second what I do, but right now I'm going to take some little, these little stencil numbers that I got years ago at probably a craft store like Michael's or Joann's, I'm not sure, but they're little squares and they have sticky on the back, which I think they're probably made for like painting or something, but they're the perfect size for my journals. And I'm writing the date. I always put the date on to my daily pages for whatever I'm documenting. And I really just love the little messy trace I'm doing here with these cute little stencils. I think what I do next is add some details using the crystal stamp set. One of the things I try to do, especially with the subscriptions that I'm a part of, it sort of is justification for me continuing the subscription, is to use my stuff. Everybody needs to use your stuff. So what I try to do is just pull out a stamp set and then say, okay, this works. I'm going to use as many of the little stamps as I can so that I'm really feeling like using the collection. And again, it keeps me coming back for more. Anyway, loving the pictures and just the reminiscing. I love that I get to put all these pictures on here, and was tickled that I was able to figure out a way because I knew I had tons of pictures for this trip. So there's that little water splotch that I'm trying to cover, and I decide I'm going to take the little circle here on the cover of the passport that was that we got there. And this little circle, I thought, super cute. It's going to go right by the little silo on that little map. And it says Magnolia on it. I'm going to go ahead and pop that down with a little bit of glue stick. And it'll cover that right up and just look super cute at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that down. And let's see. Really, really, really am feeling pretty good about what I have, what I've done. I do look at the top and I'm thinking I need my title. Yes, there's Magnolia, but now what I'm going to do is add Waco Wednesday. So there's a really fun story about this. My husband was, we were trying to decide what day we were going to go to Waco. Where we were staying, we had like a 3.5-hour drive. And so it was kind of important for us to pick the day we were going to go. And he's like, honey, I think we're going to go on Wednesday, so it can be Waco Wednesday. And I said, all right, babe, we're going on Waco Wednesday. So that's what I'm going to actually write here is Waco and then Wednesday using my Simple Stories Alpha sticker book. Now this one, I love these stickers because they come in some different sizes, also colors. This is the basic collection, which comes in blacks and browns and off-whites and whites, very neutral. And I use this probably the most. I also do have the brights and the pastel collection, which is really, I love all colors, so I just basically, I use all of them. But the basics went well for the vibe I was going for my Waco Wednesday title. So look what I'm doing. I'm covering up that offensive kind of greenish color that I didn't love, and it is going to turn out just lovely after I add WED for Wednesday. Funny story really quick. When I went into Magnolia home, I asked him, honey, do you not just love this place? Do you just not love this whole property? And he goes, it's all right. It's just like another Home Goods. I about lost it. I just thought that was the funniest perspective. He's such a good guy. We had the best time. It was so fun to experience Magnolia together in Waco, Texas on a Wednesday. And I'm going to take a few minutes and just put some extra details. I'm going to color in the 28 with my brand new chrome orange Tombow. I'm going to add a few details. I'm going to journal off camera, and then I'll add a few pictures to the top. Or at the end here, so you can take a look at how it turned out. Anyway, thank you for joining me today, and whatever you do, do it with a joyful heart and jump in with both feet. Have a really great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.